So if you're just joining us, welcome to MotorLand Aragon, near the town of Alcanis in the northeast region of Spain. Yes, I'm Luke Wilkins. Joining me very shortly will be Harry Lloyd from MotoGP.com, and it is beautiful, glorious weather here for this third round of the F1 CEV Repsol Championship. As you can see, the legendary Aragon circuit. Someone described it to me like a keyring bottle opener, and you can kind of see why with the track map there. 7 left corners, 10 right, and if we have any drama like we've had already in the Superbike race and the Moto2 European Championship race, then this Junior Moto3 World Championship should be pretty spectacular. Leading the way in the championship so far, well, it is Marcos Ramirez, the young Spaniard who made a step down, not a step down really, but a step sideways from the Stock 600 Championship last year, where he impressed everyone to Moto3. He won the first race in Valencia, took second in the second race as Kaito Toba won, and he leads the championship by just 6 points from Lorenzo Della Porta, with Kaito Toba a further point back in third. This is the one everyone talks about. We are broadcasting all over the world, live on YouTube. You can watch all of the race sites and live races back on YouTube later. It is the Moto3 Junior World Championship. To recap, they have 2 practice sessions on Thursday for 2 days of practice on Thursday, Friday, qualifying on Saturday, 2 sessions of which they take the best time, which settles on their grid, and we only have 1 race for you today in the FOMCV Repsol Moto3 Junior World Championship, with the last race having taken place as part of the MotoGP weekend at Le Mans, and it was only the Moto3 Junior World Championship that went out from the CEV at that weekend, and as we say, it was victory for Lorenzo Della Porta from Kaito Toba and Marcos Ramirez. We'll start running through the grid for you very shortly as the teams come out to set themselves up, and as I mentioned, while the wind may be high out there, that sun is hot. Track temperatures will be rising dramatically, and as you can see, there's a lot of rubber down on this track, providing great grip levels. So that was already here when we got here. Been some car championships, I believe they did the local touring car championship was here recently, putting down a lot of rubber on the track and things building up nicely for what should be the highlight of the day. So the Moto3 Junior World Championship is the races which provides probably the most spectacular racing you'll see more than anything else, and it's always exciting. Having made the way back from Parc Ferme on the scooter, did he put it in turbo drive for the get back there, Harry?
There were some slight technical hitches with the scooter.
No way!
The usually loyal Sev scooter seemed to have failed us, so we did have to do...
So you broke the scooter?
Not quite broke it. We just had to do a quick bike change, you know, practice our flag procedure. So I'm all ready for a MotoGP race, should there be flag conditions. Interestingly enough, no flag conditions in the Sev.
Was it a couple of clicks on reload that was a problem, or rebound?
Just went the wrong way with the suspension and the bike. Didn't really like it, but I know, luckily we are all back safe and sound.
I'm glad you made it back, because
really excited for what looks set to be an absolutely incredible Moto3 race. The wind has picked up, it is blowing an absolute bully out there. There's going to be a lot of these Moto3 riders who need to keep it really, really careful in these opening laps. Stephen Odendahl, you know, he himself said that even on the bigger Moto2 bike, that it was really about staying nice and safe and, you know, not pushing too hard like Remy was, because crashes can easily come in if they can happen on the Moto2 bike, and they can certainly happen on these little Moto3 machines.
Especially because these riders all weigh about 30, 40 kilos. As we say, Junior, Moto3 Junior World Championship, these guys are ranging from the ages of 14, I think the oldest rider is 19, 20.
20, Nakranada at Uberpat, yes.
Thank you very much. And really out to prove themselves. This is where everyone comes to make a name for themselves when they head up to the World Championship. Last year's champion, Nicola Balega, well, look what he's doing in the Moto3 World Championship this year, and he's replacing this year. There's a lot of hype and excitement about him as well. I noticed that Valentino Rossi obviously stopped what he was doing at the Le Mans Grand Prix to make sure he watched Dennis the Rocket Foggia, who is currently 5th in the standings, definite rider to look out for. And we'll run through the grid very shortly because there's so much talent on this grid, it's incredible, and it really could be anyone's race today. That being wheeled into first position on the Leglise Academy bike is Lorenzo Della Porta. You might know him from the World Championship last year. He set a pole, a 1:59.383, which is quick. He was half a second quicker than Alonso Lopez in second, with Marcos Ramirez, the championship leader, in third, 7/10 back from Della Porta. So, as it looks, well, it looks like Della Porta will be the man to beat, but conditions very different today, Harry, aren't they?
Yeah, certainly. You know, Della Porta, this is his 3rd straight pole. He can clearly get it done in qualifying. In France, he took his first victory of the season, and he was out in Mugello with the World Championship, riding as a replacement for Philip Urchel, and he was actually leading on multiple occasions. So, if you can lead a World Championship race, the thinking is that he can certainly do well here in the Sev. But as we've seen, the guys like Ramirez and like Kaito Toba, they can mix it up.
Totally, and as you mentioned, sorry, Delaporte, just to cut in there, to say last year, to say how he's come on this year, he was 9th in the SEV Moto3 World Championship last year, but you say the confidence he seems to have gained this year, and having watched him that Moto3 World Championship race, he's looking like a rider that's come on leaps and bounds, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. He now is very mature and, you know, along with Ramirez, is one of the title favourites. I think that Kaito Toba is surprising a few people. But with this wind, you know, anything can really
Look at the umbrellas, and you can see some being thrown into that. Now, to illustrate how big these bikes weigh, how much does a Moto3 bike? They're, 120 effect kilos? Not even that, are they?
Much less than that,
yeah,
even with the rider on it. You know, you can have two mechanics pick it up to turn it around. Here is Alonso Lopez, the rookie. He had a bit of a mixed weekend in Valencia and in Milan. Did manage to score points in every race, but now he's really thrust himself up the sharp end. Second on the grid, a really great result. As I said, he is a rookie. He has come from the pre-Moto3 championship. There are quite a few championships to keep a track of in Spain. So we go from one of the newest riders on the grid to one of the most experienced riders on the grid, Marcos Ramirez.
Current championship leader, isn't he? Yeah, and as you can see there, race winner in Valencia, second in race 2, fourth in Le Mans. And for Ramirez, well, last year was CV Moto3, 2013, I should say, CV Moto3. Last year impressed us all in Moto2 Championship, riding a standard stock Yamaha R6, finishing in the points almost at every race, and a real talent. And this year, as you said, well, I mentioned earlier, it was almost a sideways step coming back to Moto3, but it's worked for him, and he's looking a real class rider. Number 23, this is Raul Fernandez on the Second Leagues Academy bike. Young 15-year-old from Madrid, competed last year with the Pro Gas team before the switch to the Gleeds for the final round, and best finish, results were 7th and 8th, plus Red Bull Rookie Racer too, isn't he?
Yep, he's also riding in the Red Bull Rookies. There's a fair few riders who are doing double duty between both this championship and the Red Bull Rookies, or for some of the Asian riders, the Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup. So there's certainly a lot of work going on. Here we come to number 32, Kaito Toba.
Talking of the Asia Advanced Talent Team, the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup, obviously part of the Asia Talent Team, 5-strong team of riders, 3 official Ractory riders, then Andy Istahar and Nakranato at Fugapat on kind of like almost satellite-y type bikes, aren't they? But Kaito Toba, well, a lot of people were talking about Sasaki being the person who's going to make a real impression in the Asia Talent Team this year, but Kaito Toba, having learned, you know, finished 9th in CV last year, 9th in the Red Bull Rookies, has really taken a step up this year. 10th in race 1, after an incident when he was battling for the lead, won race 2 in Le Mans, qualified in 2nd, finished in 2nd, starting from 5th today, bit of work cut out, but a real chance to him. And here's a man I thought would be really up there this year, Albert Arenas, but having made the switch from the Husqvarna to the Mahindra, it's taken him a while, isn't it, to adjust?
Yeah, it's not quite, I think, everything you thought it would be. Albert Arenas is starting in 6th place and is the leading Mahindra. We've seen in the World Championship that Francesco Bagnaia has been a consistent podium challenger on that machine, but I think it's fair to say that Arenas is finding life tough at the moment. He was, you know, at the end of last year, he was really the rider to beat and took 2 wins, or took 3 wins out of the last 4 races, the last 2 rounds. And, you know, it's tough to see him struggle so much this year. Here's a rider who's continuing to come on leaps and bounds.
And impressed me hugely.
Masaki, number 31. He's also racing in the Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup. And he's actually doing better here than he is in the Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup. He had a bit of a tough time in Sepang Day last round, where he finished 6th in the first race and took 12th in the second race after a crash, and he's currently 41 points off the lead in that championship. He was sort of the rider to beat, having been strong in 2015, finishing 3rd overall, but it seems like he's really excelling in the SEV, which is what's really important to see.
We look here on the second Mahindra, that is Aaron Polanco, 16-year-old from Valencia. As I mentioned there, DNF in the first race, managed to finish 16th and 2nd at Le Mans, 19th, but dramatic improvement here. His best qualifying so far was 15th this year at Le Mans. He's now up into 8th on the middle of the 3rd row. 17th in last year's CV Moto3, with the best place finish of 5th at Albacete, 25th in CV year before. So steady progress from the young Spaniard and impressing a few people today. And as you say, that Mahindra, we know it's lacking a bit of top-end speed compared to some of the other bikes, but he's done a good job there. And then number 44, that is Tony Arbolino on the 658 Squadra Corsa KTM, a young 15 years now, was 14 at the first round, so he's obviously had his birthday since then, and well, retired from the first race, 15th in race 2. Big improvement at Mons, qualified in 11th, finishing 14th, and again an improvement here, qualifying in 9th.
Yeah, certainly. He's making steps forward. Unfortunately, Arbolino has a tendency to fall off his motorcycle a bit too much, which sort of hinders him a bit, not only in practice, but also obviously in the races. Last year here, he was involved in quite a big crash, which did bring out the red flag, but luckily showing no worries about that now.
And that's his teammate, Yari Montella. Yeah, 15-year-old from Solero. The two riders, two Italians, both 15, one from Milan, one from Solero. Montella was 11th Italian CRV Moto3 Championship last year. And that's how windy it is. That is how windy it is. He won the 2014 Moto Sprint Golden Helmet Award for Hidden Talent. So obviously a young Italian with, again, a lot to improve. And if you look at his improvement, 26 he qualified in Valencia, 20th in Le Mans, 10th here.
That's pretty good. You know, you keep up those rates and it can't end too badly. Here we have number 52, Jeremy Alcoba, another one coming through the pre-Moto3 Championship.
Fourth in the standings in the championship at the moment, yep.
Yep, and he was third at the first race in Valencia. He did actually finish on the podium in the second race, but then had a penalty put on him, so he had to drop some positions after the race because he was exceeding the track limits. We haven't had any issues about exceeding track limits here this weekend, and hopefully that does stay because there were a fair few riders in Valencia, especially in this Moto3 class, hit with penalties for that. We had Jeremy Alcoba, Aaron Blanco, Alonso Lopez, Alex Ruiz, Alicia View, and Jaume Masia all hit.
There is rider number 3 in the Asian talent team. That's the third of the factory riders. It is Ayumu Sasaki, 15 from Yokosuka in Japan. Wildcard at Valencia last year. Everyone was impressed as he managed to get a podium. But this year, I don't know if the pressure's a little bit too much to him or not. Started in 4th in Valencia, qualified there, finished 4th in the first race, DNA'd in race 2, and struggled in Le Mans really, didn't he? Qualified in 7th, finished the race down in 10th. He's shown a lot of potential. He's aggressive. A lot of people saying that he's a real Japanese rider to come through with a European style of riding almost. Isn't that right, Harry?
Yeah, and he's doing very well in the Red Bull Rookies Cup, which is running alongside this. It is important to remember that Sasaki is learning a lot of these tracks for the first time,
of course, yeah.
as are many riders on this grid. Some of the Spanish kids have a bit of an advantage having run at 1 or 2 of these tracks in the pre-Moto3 series and various other smaller series like that, but especially for the riders from Italy, from Japan, from wherever else, huge mix of nationalities, as in every class in the SEV. It's about learning, and, you know, especially for Sasaki, he did really explode onto the scene, but as we've seen with other riders, that can often set the bar a bit too high and sort of make unrealistic expectations.
Now, as the teams clear the grid, we've covered the first 4 rows, but let's just recap on this. There's 2 big names, 2 potential race winners who are at the head of the 5th row. Dennis Foggia, junior team VR46 Riders Academy, placed in Nicola Balegi this year. He's obviously made to step up to the World Championship. Really impressed us. He's in 13th. And Jaume Masia on the junior team Australia Glitzy at 0-0 bike down in 14th. So we'll keep an eye on those guys. We'll do a full rundown of the grid very quickly, but surprised to see those 2 names not in the top 6, really.
Yeah, Masia was unfortunately forced to miss Le Mans and the second race in Valencia after a very, very nasty high side in race 1 in Valencia. So hopefully he's back closer to full fitness now and can get up there. He had some really good races here last year. He started very, very well.
So here is the full grid then for your Moto3 Junior World Championship race here at Aragon. Lorenzo Della Porta, poleman, ahead of Alonso Lopez and Marcos Ramirez. Ralph Fernandez, Kaito Toba and Albert Arenas make up row 2 with Kazuki Masaki, Aaron Polanco and Tony Arbolino on the 3rd row.
Look how tight those times are, especially from 3rd down to 9th. Lorenzo Della Porta with a bit of an advantage there. In 10th place, Yari Montella, as we were talking about, teammates to his fellow Italian, Jeremy Alcoba in 11th ahead of Ayumu Sasaki, Dennis Foggia, Jaume Masia, both ones to watch ahead of Marco Bezzecchi, Davide Pozzoli, he was on the front row here last year, now in 16th ahead of Andy Farrad, Isdaha, and then Stefano Manzi, who was on the podium in Le Mans.
Another big name as well, Stefano Manzi, you'll know from the World Championship. Manuel Pagliani, he's making his debut this season here in the Moto3 Junior World Championship. Gerald Rio and Maka Achenko from row 7. Watch out for Achenko, Kazakhstani, brilliant rider. Nakranata Ratfupat, Vincenzo Perez and Rory Skinner down in row 8. And Georgie Tim, Maximilian Kaplia and Walid Sopi, row 9. So Rory Skinner again, we'll talk about him shortly, I'm sure. Much further down than expect to be.
We have Enzo Boulon in 28th place ahead of Alex Reyes, Mathieu Guidi ahead of Filippo Fellini, Alicia View, Hector Garzo, Walter Sulis, Gabriel Martinez Abrico, the Mexican rider, with Simon Jespersen, the Norwegian, in 36th place there.
Yeah, Jespersen, another rider to come in and make his debut at this round. Livan Luchel in 37th and Lucas Wenderborn bringing up the back of the grid. So, as I mentioned earlier, Marcos Ramirez currently leads his championship by 6 points from Della Porta with Kaito Toba in 3rd. They are, well, Toba is 14 points ahead of Jeremy Alcobar, the next man. Alcobar, well, he got a podium at Valencia. He'll be looking to bounce back. But there are a lot of great riders down the grid. I think we're going to see an incredible race because you're going to see Rory Skinner, I think Eta Boulon, Gerard Riou, Makarchenko all make a charge through the field. Stefano Manzi. But the battle at the front, well, you can't look much further. Lorenzo Della Porta and Alonso Lopez and Marco Ramirez. Can Kaito Toba get involved in the mix as well, along with Raul Fernandez? We'll see. But look at that wind, Harry. It's on a small bike, as you say. Sorry, I was saying 120 kilos. That's rider and bike combined. These bikes are about 60, 70 kilos, aren't they?
Yeah.
Riders about 30, 40.
It's huge to get buffeted around. You know, particularly Phillip Island in the World Championship, that suffers from high winds like this, and you'll usually see what they call Swiss cheese fairings.
Yeah, I've seen that on Rory Skinner's bike, the KL bike. They've drilled holes in the fairing, haven't they?
Yeah, and that's helped the wind pass through and hopefully not buffet the bike around as much in those nasty crosswinds. Obviously, a wind behind you can help a bit down the straight. I'm not quite sure which direction the wind was blowing when I was on the scooter. It was sort of just gusting all around, so a bit hard to tell there.
Yeah, wind definitely whips around this area. As you say, the track follows the contour of the lands. There's massive undulations, huge elevations. We're just with all these riders on the grid. It'll be interesting to see how they get through turn one on the corkscrew for the first time. But if you've never seen a Moto3 Junior World Championship race, maybe if you haven't even seen a Moto3 World Championship race, you are in for a real treat. That is just how many
riders we have in this race. Just look at all of those riders, all young, all hungry, all trying to win the race.
Trying to make a name for themselves as well, aren't they? This is their future on the lines. And
38 riders on the grid. That's absolutely incredible.
That's insane. To go through turn one, this is going to be just an amazing race. You see a lot of the orange and black bikes there. We mentioned before about how there are lots of teams, obviously, in this championship feeding through. We have the junior team of Strela Galizia. We have the Pro Casa Fortitude Motorsport team, which is the orange and black bikes. We have, I think, 5 riders here today, 4 riders. They Alex Rins, the Moto2 championship contender in the World Championships team. You have so many teams here, as you say. You've seen the Leglise Academy bikes. And it's a real stepping stone for these guys. And by having seen the people that have gone up, Canet, Balega, you know, into the World Championship from last year, who did well here, you can see why everyone wants to come here and make a name for themselves. So they are lining up on the grid, and I will recap through this one. 2 rows for you very shortly, but this is going to be a tight one, isn't it, Harry?
Yeah, definitely. You know, as you were saying, the front row really are the favourites in this race, but especially with the wind, maybe some of those guys like Ramirez take it a bit easy and allow some riders behind to catch up and throw themselves into the mix.
Okay then, so your front row for Moto3 Junior World Championship race here at Aragon. The only one for us today in this championship is Lorenzo Dalla Porta from Alonso Lopez and Marcos Ramirez. Raul Fernandez, Kaito Toba, Albert Arenas make up row 2. Watch out for Toba from the start. He normally gets pretty good ones, but the lights will be coming on very shortly. Then you have them there for 1 to 3 seconds. They will go out and the race will be starting. Tear off from Dalla Porta immediately. 15 laps of the Moto3 Junior World Championship. The only race we have here today is go. The lights are out and it's a great start from Alonso Lopez from second on the grid. Can Dalla Porta fight back? But it looks like Lopez is going to get the whole shot from Ramirez and then Dalla Porta.
Yep, Dalla Porta sucked back a bit there. Great start. Honda Power off the line, opening up. Oh, we have a big crash in the middle there. That looks like it's Stefano Manzi who's down. Definitely one of the Mahindra bikes. Yet that's Stefano Manzi, the tallest rider on the grid. Luckily, he is all up and okay. Huge disappointment there, though, having finished on the podium in Le Mans. His race is already over.
And the other riders doing a brilliant job avoiding him. He had to kind of dance to get out of the way. That could probably be going around YouTube later, I should imagine. But at the front, it is Alonso Lopez who leads then, from Marco Ramirez, Dalla Porta in 3rd, Fernandez 4th, and Toba 5th, Arbolino 6th. It is already starting to get interesting here in the Moto3 Junior World Championship. Lopez, look at him leading the race. Brilliant stuff from the young lad.
But here comes Ramirez looking up the inside as they come down into turn 8, the top of the corkscrew. And it is, no, Ramirez hasn't been able to get past the young Alonso Lopez just yet. Lopez does hold it there. Is Manzi walking away. Manzi is quite tall.
He's tall.
He's about 6'3", I think. I haven't had a chance to measure him exactly.
There he goes down.
Just touches another rider in the middle of the pack. Manages to avoid any serious
little bit of contact. Wow. When he looked up and saw the guy coming at speed and just had to kind of get out of the way, it was almost like a bullfighter.
Yeah, it's a shame we don't get to see Stefano Manzi because he's really incredible how he makes that Mahindra work through the corner.
Especially with his size and weight disadvantage he has.
And I was very much looking forward to talking about that, but we'll have to wait for the next race. As you said, there is only one Moto3 race here today, and it is currently Alonso Lopez who does lead that, but Ramirez is right there with him. We're seeing Ramirez more than happy to wait until a couple of laps later, but here comes Dalla Porta on an absolute missile of a machine as the other two go to the other side of the track to try and break the slipstream.
And Ramirez followed him and he's taken the lead. That was brilliant. Lopez pulled all the way over to the left-hand side of the track, and coming through is also Fernandez and his teammate Dalla Porta, and it looks like Toba's got through as well.
Yeah, but that's great riding here, and that shows exactly how the slipstream can work. Not only can it allow riders to pass, but it also makes sure that all that leading group does stay bunched together. There we can see, look, no discernible advantages as Della Porta comes up the inside of Toba. Beautiful ride there, but Toba thrusts him right back up the inside. No love lost there for the Japanese rider. More than happy to give it back to the Italian, with Raul Fernandez and sticking in behind a pair of them, but it's Arbolino who's right behind them as well.
So Kaito Toba, they have to be careful, sorry. Kaito Toba then up into the podium position. So Ramirez currently leading the race by 2/10 from Fernandez to Toba at the head of this group, battling for third. And it is Toba, Della Porta, Fernandez, and then we have Arbolino's up there as well.
Yeah, but also good work from Kazuki Misaki just behind number 31. He's trying to track down that second group there, but it is Toba who is in control of that chasing group as they try and chase down Ramirez and Lopez. They need to be careful not to allow them to get away. You know, those four riders, they will be fighting for position, but too much fighting can allow the leading duo to break away.
Now, it'll be interesting to see, as you say, there is a bit of a gap here now, almost half a second between second place Lopez and Toba in third. Let's see how big an advantage or disadvantage the slipstream will be when they come down the back straight, whether they'll be able to close that gap up or if they've already managed to break it. As Alonso makes a move for the lead coming into turn 12 as they pass the legendary and iconic wall. Alonso has taken the lead. This will slow up the leading two and allow Toba to maybe tag onto the back of them as they come onto the back straight. But look at that, Alonso, very brave move from the young Spaniard.
Exactly, and that might not be what Ramirez wants, and it's exactly what all the riders behind and us fans want to see, because it is almost guaranteed to make a close race. As Ramirez has a bit of a glance over his shoulder, check who's there, and the answer is a lot of riders.
Watch of the weave, and of course there. And as we said, look, that gap at the front has been closed up. It looks like whenever someone's going to try and break away, this long back straight might allow them to get the slipstream down. But it is Lopez who's going to lead across the line as they complete lap 2 from championship leader Ramirez with Kaito Toba in third. But Kaito Toba, look, the Jaws music starting, Harry. We always do this. He's locked on to Ramirez. He's not letting him get away. And this is how the Japanese rider likes to work. He has done this season anyway.
Having a sniff up the inside,
and he's got it to second.
It looks like Lopez goes from first to third in that first corner. Great work from Ramirez. They're incredible on the brakes, is the Spaniard. Already able to open up a bit of a gap there over the other two.
Toba, he's got his sights set on Ramirez. He's going to start hunting him down now. I've been so impressed with Kaito Toba this year. As you say, it's a learning process for a lot of these Asian talent team riders. Last year was his first year learning the tracks, and now he's really starting to assert his authority, and he's been aggressive, he's been good. And Ramirez is saying, yeah, and look, Toba passing the message back. Lads, let's not fight for the moment for the podium. Let's get our heads down, let's pull away from the rest, and then we can have a scrap for the race win.
All of that top six nice and close together. Lopez having a bit of a look behind him as well. As you say, they do sort of need to break away, because if there is one mistake, then there's a huge group of riders all the way down to 15. They'll more than happily swallow them up. And Ramirez has the experience to lead this race. But in Valencia, in race 2, we saw Ramirez stalked by Toba for the entire race. Ramirez does have the experience and does have the pace to lead, and he just needs to make sure that what happened in Valencia, i.e. Toba overtaking the penultimate corner, does happen again, as Lopez has up the inside of the Japanese rider, and Toba holds it strong on the brakes. Meanwhile, Della Porta and his countryman Arbolino continue to just watch and wait.
Yeah, top 6 separated by a second. You see there, this top 6 starting to break away. They've opened up 8/10 to Kazuki Misaki in 7th, but Misaki, sorry, Yuma Misaki will, sorry, it's Kazuki Misaki, he will be fighting back, and he's looking to close that gap, and he's got a trail of riders behind him, and actually it looks like Misaki's just missed out to Jaume Marcia, who is now moved up into 7th and leading that chasing pack. But the top 6, well, you can separate them by throwing a rug over them. Look at that. It looks like Toba's now taken the lead into turn 16. He has down the back straight. Used the 16 to brilliant advantage. And here comes Sasaki on his teammate Misaki and the Asian talent team. Sasaki, well, I mentioned he's been not flattering to deceive
Both
this year.
a bit wide there, and Marcia, who's the smallest rider on the grid, will look for a great slipstream down onto this straight. And it is currently Lopez who led across the line, but it looks like it will be Toba.
No, Della Porta on the inside.
Slides up the inside, not sure we'll be able to hang on to that one.
Triple overtake.
Yeah, we see all three of the Asian Talent Cup riders and all 3 of the Australian listed junior team riders up the front. It is Della Porta who has seized the advantage, able to open up a couple of bike lengths, but as we've seen so many times before already in just this race alone, that is worth almost nothing. As Ramirez comes up the inside of Lopez, beautiful move there, doesn't quite get it past Toba, but Ramirez is showing very, very well.
And Toba's looking aggressive now at the back wheel of Della Porta. He's having a look up the inside now. Can he make it stick? The Japanese rider looking to go into the lead? No. It's the answer there. Dalla Porta manages to hold on. Toba having a look behind, sees Ramirez, sees Arbolino, sees Lopez and Fernandez, and thinks, yeah, we're a hell of a race now. This top 6 separated by 6 tenths. They're concertina enough. Can Dalla Porta break away at the front? Well, breathless already on that 4 of 15. You can see what we were talking about earlier. We mentioned this would be one hell of a race. And that leading pack, well, that shouldn't be counted out as well. As you say, Sasaki now at the head of that. 1.3 seconds between Fernandez in 6th and Sasaki in 7th. We'll keep an eye on that. He could just take a couple of tenths off in the first sector, Sasaki. So they could be closing down this leading group as well. But at the moment, it's Dalla Porta from Ramirez, from Toba. Ramirez, they never take second.
Yeah, but as we come down to the straight, that could all change. Look at Arbolino trying to get as close as he can to Toba to try and get as much slipstream as possible. And it's also allowed Raul Fernandez to close up a little bit. Raul Fernandez, whose previous best result was 6th place. He could very much be on for his best result of the year. There we see the Leopard team looking on with Leopard Stratos. Big team from the World Championship coming and working together with a big Sev team to produce a bit of magic as Toba slides ahead of their rider Marcos Ramirez into 2nd place, but it is still Dalla Porta who does continue to lead, just as he did in the World Championship not 1 week ago in Mugello.
So as they come across the line to complete lap 4 of 15, it is Dalla Porta leads, but look at Arbolino having the drive here, and Ramirez and Toba, they're 4 abreast coming into turn 1. Who's going to lead? It looks like Toba. Yes, Toba from Toba. Ramirez, Dalla Porta, and Arbolino slots into 4th with Lopez in 5th, and Fernandez just starting to maybe sit back a little bit and think, well, give him a bit of breathing space here in 6th.
It's still very much anyone's game. I mean, you know, we've seen all these 5 riders chopping and chasing. It doesn't look like Fernandez quite has the pace to stay with those leading 5. As I say that, he does get sucked right back up. Meanwhile, the Asia talent riders are leading this charging group, and it is Jaume Messia who charged through there to move up into 8th place, just behind what looked to be Sasaki.
That's brilliant from Messia. We mentioned earlier, starting from 14th, he's already up into 8th. Dennis Foggia started from 13th, he's still in 13th. Makochenko, he started way down the order.
Here.
He's up into 14th, sorry.
Look at that, Ramirez, who was in the lead, has now been shuffled right down to the back of this group in about 5th place, just ahead of Fernandez, behind Alonso.
Yeah, it's a real battle. As we say, we've got some very talented, very quick riders coming through the field. Late further down the pack, Rory Skinner just keeps down for British fans, down 27th at the moment, struggling. He is lapping over 2 seconds slower than the leaders at the moment.
Dalla Porta having a look for the lead as well, but no, Toba manages to just close the door on it. This is a really great race from Toba and shows everything that he's been learning, not only here, but in the Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup and in the Red Bull Rookies. He might still be very young, but he's already very experienced, having ridden a plethora of different bikes. Just as I say that, he makes a mistake. I should really stop talking about riders when they're doing well, because this seems to be a persistent pain. There's Alberto Puig, the man responsible for helping whip these Asia Talent Team riders into shape, and he's clearly doing a very good job, as 3 of them are currently inside the top 10. Not much more you could ask for.
And he does, you know, does know what he's doing, having brought Pedro's, Stoner, all of that through the ranks. But here goes Toba, keeps on to the lead from Dalla Porta. Then it's Arbolino, and then it is Alonso Lopez. Wow, those 4. Oh, there's contact, Arbolino and Lopez. Oh, the big move from Lopez on the inside.
Forcing Lopez to sit up and go a bit wide, but he's still right in that group, and that'll only make him madder.
That has, well, it's really knocked Lopez off his stride, but he's not done too badly. Who's going to lead? It's Dalla Porta into turn 1 from Toba with Arbolino, but Ramirez comes around the outside and Arbolino. And yeah, Lopez, I think, has recovered brilliantly, actually, just to sit at the back of this group.
Still very much in that group, you know, just wait for your chance to come through, and you'll be right back up there. No time at all. I'm sure that he'll be more than happy to pass Arbolino back, and we better watch for a bit of love between those 2.
Of Lopez, yeah. Not Lopez, sorry, apologies, that is Arbolino.
Meanwhile, Ramirez sneaks up into 2nd as well, just ahead of Kaido Toba. It still continues to change. Lorenzo Dalla Porta is loving this fighting behind us. It is allowing him to just sort of creep ahead. They are setting 2:02s at the front, which shows just how much they're fighting, because the number of riders behind are over half a second faster, with the likes of Alcoba setting a 2:01 and also Masaki setting a 2:01. And
Alonso and Fernandez having a great little battle at the back of this group 56, swapping places at almost every corner. But at the front, so far, Dalla Porta leads. He has a 2/10 lead over Ramirez, but you can visually see how small that is and how little that means when it comes down to the back straight here at Aragon. As they come around to turn 12, Dalla Porta. Ramirez having a look up the inside. Dalla Porta, I think, just holds on to the lead. He does. Toba in 3rd. Arbolino, well, he's been taking no prisoners, and these front 4 just start starting to break away.
Exactly,
from
just
Lopez in
here is
fifth.
where Arbolino was involved in that red flag causing crash last year, so he does need to be careful to avoid any other incidents. I believe he was involved with Davide Pizzoli in one of those crashes, and also Senna Yamada. But here we go onto the straight. Let's see what happens. You know, all these runs down the straight are a preview for what could happen on the last lap, because I don't think that any of these riders are going to be able to break away like we saw Juan Mir do last year.
Well, I think what's fascinating, as you say, is this is where it all counts into the last corner, because the drag to the line is probably not long enough to get an amazing slipstream and take one. We'll find out. Whoever leads coming out this last
As
corner,
Della
I'm
Porta
guessing.
goes from first to what looks to be third as they come around this corner with both Ramirez and Toba coming through. And Arbolino also looking for a way through on his fellow Italian
So
rider.
Ramirez leads out the final corner. Will he lead across the line? Well, it's going to be close. I'll tell you, that is going to be close, because Toba was just a tenth behind him. So, not guaranteed if you come out of that final corner in the lead, but that will be what they're aiming for. As they settle around through turn one, then it is Ramirez from Toba and Della Porta, an aggressive move there on Arbolino into third. And then it is Lopez and Fernandez in fifth and sixth. This front six now opened up almost a 2-second advantage from Ayumu Sasaki in seventh, who's leading the chasing pack. Jaume Masia, brilliant ride from 14th up to 8th already. He's just taken Ayumu Masaki with Jeremy Alcoba also breaking into the top 10.
Yep, a really good ride from them there. We see Sasaki leading that chasing group ahead of his teammate Masaki, with Alcoba and his teammate Jaume Masia just there. Polanco, surprisingly enough, ahead of Alberto Arenas. Didn't expect that this year, but Alberto Arenas is the danger man. He is, like Ramirez, one of the most experienced riders, as Polanco goes up the inside of Jaume Masia as they come through the corkscrew.
This was two Ace Talent team bikes, two Junior Estella bikes, two Mahindras. So it's literally, as you say, team battles going on for that battle for 7th almost. With, as it is, as you say, Sasaki ahead of Masaki, Alcoba and Masia, and then Polanco and Arenas. So at the front, Ramirez, he's still just holding on to that lead, but here is, as we see, Masaki taking Sasaki for 7th.
Meanwhile, in the production Moto3 class, the subclass we do have within this series, much more of a stock bike, it is Hector Garzo who leads that ahead of Alicia View, who is the championship leader currently. Yeah,
Hector Garza 9 points behind View in the championship, so important battle going on there further down the field. But look at that top six just so locked together. Ramirez pulling out, trying to avoid them in the slipstream, but look at them all follow him. It is going to be tight coming down into this final corner. Here goes Tiber. He sizes it up, uses the slipstream beautifully, and he takes first. Ramirez second, Della Porta third. Will they still be in the same order when they cross the line? Let's have a look. All lining up for that last lap on. Look at the different lines they take through there. Toba running wide to allow him to get the drag. Della Porta trying to keep it slightly narrow, and here, across the line, he just held on to that Toba. It's Toba Ramirez, Della Porta.
Three abreast across the line. Not sure how we know who's leading that one, but as we come into turn one, it is Ramirez ahead of Della Porta, with Toba just managing to push up Arbolino, who stays in 4th place. Meanwhile, Lopez and Fernandez continue to cling on to the back of this group.
Yeah, they are, as you say, just starting to look a little bit ragged the last couple at the back here. But look at that, having said that, there comes Lopez on Arbolino, so he's moved up into 4th, Arbolino dropping down to 5th. But Della Porta, well, it looked like he was controlling this race in the front. He hasn't been shown a front wheel for a while. It looks like well, I'm talking about these last few corners, but it looks like Ramirez is sizing him up the inside here already. Toba in close proximity. These 6 really locked into an incredible battle for the race win here.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, as they come around these corners, just look at all the different riding styles that they have. Della Porta, a very small rider, Ramirez, a very big rider, using their bodies very differently. Also, interestingly enough, especially Toba, he's very smooth on the bike. I was watching yesterday out at turn 13 and turn 12, all the Europeans, they're really getting their elbows out, whereas Toba and some of the other riders from Asia, they keep everything tucked in and much smoother on the bike. So just something for all you fans out there to watch for, as Della Porta sees the lead with Arbolino trying to look through for a way into second, but stays in third. Meanwhile, Kaito Toba looks like he's going to go up the inside of the Italian to retake third position as they come around turn 13.
But Arbolino has a look up the inside into 14, and he retakes third. What a brilliant battle. Oh,
but
Arbolino!
Arbolino! A bit close.
That was where he caused a big
low.
accident last year as well, and he just seemed to slip out wide. Toba had to stand the bike up, and that could cause a bit of a gap. Let's see what the slipstream does here, because you've got Alonso and Fernandez in close attention, wanting to take Toba really dropping down from leading a few corners ago to 4th, and well, a big moment there for him. Arbolino once again aggressive through those set of corners. Here comes Alonso, Lopez up the inside on Fernandez.
Yeah, meanwhile, his teammate Alcoba is leading that chasing group. The Asia Challenge team guys have been shuffled back a bit. Some great battling going on between them. They are over 2 seconds off that leading pack, so I think that their race for the potential podium is more or less gone, unless Sasaki and Alcoba can really pull it out here. But just look how big that gap is. Incredible, as Arbolino takes the lead for what I believe is the first time this race, ahead of his countryman Della Porta, with Marcos Ramirez in third place.
It's incredible, this, isn't it? Junior Moto3 World Championships. You say Della Porta up the inside, very brave move, but runs it wide. Can Arbolino cut back? Yes, he can. So he's taking the lead. Toba takes advantage, made moves to second. Look at that,
Ramirez says
wide.
thank you very much. He slots into the lead. Meanwhile, Toba continues to make up places, goes into third. His shoulder getting precariously close to Della Porta's front wheel.
Yeah.
Need to be careful of that one. The leathers might need a bit of a wash from some of the rubber marks.
But then running wide is Lopez. It looks like Lopez has just run wide there slightly. Has it cost him? Well, it's cost him 5th position to Fernandez, but can he fight back? It looks like it. It's just an incredible battle for 6. They are swapping places. Every time you think someone's got a bit of momentum, it changes, obviously, with the slipstream. But it is Arbolino in second. Ramirez, well, he's trying to pull the pin at the moment, isn't he? He's decided, I think, if any of them can, I think it's pretty much impossible with the long back straight. But if I was Ramirez, I'd be thinking right now, I need to try and break this pack if I want any chance, because otherwise I could be 1st or 6th when I cross the line.
Yeah, and the other thing is that we've seen all 6 of these riders have been able to recover from moments. You know, they've been able to come back from the back of this pack and then to go back into the lead. It looks like there's a couple of bike lengths now between Toba and Della Porta, but Della Porta is a little bit of a rocket down that back straight because he is so small, and that KTM Husqvarna that he is on is such a good machine. So
as they come down the back straight for the 9th time, we have another 6 laps after this. Toba trying to get in the slipstream to retake second from Arbolino. Arbolino doing his best to weevil over it. It looks like Toba's going to have a go into turn 16. Ramirez incredibly wide onto the rumble strips to get the line. Cuts across, but Toba takes second. Arbolino slots back into third.
Yeah, meanwhile, that group behind, currently led by Alcoba, goes all the way down to 17th place with Montoya, Arbolino's teammate. So huge battle going on there as well.
So coming across the line, it is Ramirez from Toba, separated by 500ths of a second. But look, Della Porta from 4th even. We were saying about how they were getting dropped from 4th to 1st down the back straight into turn 1. Incredible.
Great work from Della Porta there to get the cut back and go back up the inside. It looked like Toba was trying to line that up a little bit, but no, Della Porta did manage to cinch that.
So, Della Porta then, your championship 2nd place man, who trails Ramirez with 6 points. Gets back into the lead in this race. It's breathless stuff here in the Moto3 Junior World Championships. You can see these top 6 just battling it out, hammer and tong. And as you say, that group behind them, well, there's what, 10, 11 riders involved in that? Incredible battle.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. As we see Arbolino again slip up the inside into third. There's so many different lines that you can take on these little Moto3 bikes around the Aragon circuit. Some good for defending, some good for attacking, but it's all going to be about those final 2 corners, I think, turn 16 and 17. The run down onto the straight will be equally as crucial to set up for a potential victory. The run to the line, not very long here, so if you can get the lead out of that final corner, as long as no one's right on your tail, you should be able to clinch it.
Well, as we've seen so far, every time they've come across the line, the person who led out the final corner just has led across the line. And here comes Arbolino up the inside of Toba, having a look again. That time doesn't make a move. Toba might have had a heart in his mouth. Last time he did that, obviously pushed him a little bit wide. Della Porta, though, looking comfortable at the front. Ramirez having a look as well. Oh, Toba holds on to second there. Ramirez running slightly wide. Has that allowed Lopez through? No.
Yeah, Lopez having a bit of a renaissance here after, you know, getting pushed a bit wide by Arbolino. Took a couple of laps just at the back. And here is this incredible battle for 7th place. It is now Marco Bezzecchi.
Wow, Bezzecchi, he's come all the way. That's brilliant stuff from Bezzecchi. From 15th on the grid. Him and Masia were 15th and 14th respectively. So doing brilliant stuff. Now it's Toba into the lead on Della Porta. We talk about the slipstream. We talk about the importance of the final corner. Look how much speed carried Toba into that final corner. But look at Arbolino coming up the inside. Can he get the drag to the line?
Yeah, and just look how short that run to the line is there. They just crossed it there, so not too much in it for that final lap. And
Della Porta's retaking the lead, look at that.
In this thing, Della Porta really strong into turn 1, but, you know, that's not going to help on lap 15.
And Ramirez having a look up the inside of Toba, but Toba just carrying enough pace to make sure he's okay through turn 2, coming into turn 3. Look at that, it's Arbolino again making a move on Ramirez. Arbolino's not shy, is he? He just sees a gap, goes for it.
Yeah, Arbolino's definitely a bit of a wild card in this group. Lots of these riders are now used to fighting with each other and fighting at the front, whereas Arbolino's throwing his muscle around and just trying to, you know, get his name out there, and he's doing a great job of it so far.
Yeah, 14 years. It's incredible things. He's 14 years old from Milan. And, you know, so far his best finish is 14th in Le Mans. So he's going to have a great race no matter what happens if he can keep within this group. But yeah, as you say, Lopez, big twitch. Just hanging on to 5th though, and it's still Della Porta who leads from Toba. Let's just do a rundown of the top 10 for you. It's Arbolino in 3rd, Ramirez 4th, Lopez 5th, Fernandez 6th, Bezzecchi leading that chasing group in 7th with Sasaki, Misaki, Masia, Alcoba, Polanco, Foggia, Ryu, and Arenas making out your top 15.
Yurchenko's also had a great race He is now up into 16th place, and Yurchenko started in 21st, so 5 positions already for him and involved in that battle for the top 6. It is Della Porta who leads as they begin the run to the straight, but Kaito Toba is right there, and once again,
Tony Arbolino having a look. He loves to look up the inside there, doesn't he, in 14 and 15 as they head onto the back straight. Here we go then, slipstream time. Actually, ironically, Fernandez was looking like he was just starting to drop off the back of this group, but I'm guessing slipstream will mean that's not a problem. And these guys just over 3.5 seconds ahead of the chasing group. As you see that gap now to 4.3 seconds.
Looks like there might be problems for Alberto Arenas. It does seem like, oh no, he has moved up, sorry. I saw a white bike behind. That's actually Gary Montejo who has dropped off that second group.
You were just talking about Yurchenko, fastest man on track at the moment with a 2:00.701 on the last lap. Let's see what they do as they come across the line shortly to complete lap 11 of 15. Just 4 laps to go and they're 5 abreast coming down the start-finish straight. Let's have a look what happens into turn 1. Look at that, Lopez up into second.
In second place, but it is Della Porta once again who does control the pack through that turn 1 as they start the run up through turn 3. The Carlos Checo corner, the only corner that's actually named on this circuit.
Yeah, it is actually, isn't it? It's the only one, which seems a bit strange, but wow, this is going to build up to, as you say, here comes Ramirez having a look upside the inside even of Lopez. And Arbolino in 4th. Again, he's got the bike legs back now. He needs to regroup with Toba and get the heads down. In fact, Toba's already taken Arbolino, so he's now got Ramirez in sight. But a big moment there for Toba, trying to get on the gas. Big wobble from the bike.
Yeah, the laps continue to tick down. We are now 3.5 laps from the end, so it is time to start making the moves to ensure that you're at least in that top 3. You know, we've mentioned it before, it seems like Fernandez hasn't really been able to challenge this group. He's been able to stick with them. Maybe he's all just saving for a bit of a surprise attack on the last lap. It does look like they are coming up on one of the back markers.
Wow.
Probably one of the production bikes. They are quite down on power as they are based around a stock Honda. There it is, number 70.
That's Lucas Vanderborn for the Robner made-to-measure team, the Swedish rider, who is just 15 actually.
That's great to get out of the way there. No interfering with that leading group. Exactly what we want to see.
That's superb actually for a back marker. But here it is, Della Porta. This is just building, building, building. Front 3, got a couple of tenths now to go 4th, but I think we'll see that all close up again as head down the back straight, and it already has, to be fair. Here we go then. We've got 3 more after this goes down the back straight. 3 and a bit laps to go. Let's see what happens this time. It's Della Porta who leads. Look at the back marker, Wedderborn getting out of the way of the guys. Brilliant stuff from him.
Yep, no issue there. Look, very, very interesting there from Lopez, sticking both of his knees out to actually slow himself down because he does not want to be leading right now. That's a really, really tactical thing from such a young rider. That really impressed me. We see that sometimes in the World Championship, but Lopez is really thinking about this race, really taking it tactically, not just twisting that right throttle.
I couldn't agree with you more. He thought, I don't want to lead at this point. I want to be doing in this position on the last lap so I can take the lead.
Della Porta and Ramirez getting nice and close through the first corner there as well.
So you're right, I think Lopez knows if he can just, he's got a lot of pace down that back straight, if he can just make sure he's in the mix of those front 3, and they are breaking away now, these front 3. They've opened up half a second to Kaito Toba in 4th, and it is Della Porta from Ramirez from Lopez. It's getting exciting.
Yeah, and you know, not only does Lopez want to make sure that he's in that top 3, but maybe he wants a practice run on the penultimate lap or even on this lap to see what he can do if he is in 3rd position. Can he use the double slipstream to snag himself a surprise first victory? Meanwhile, I wouldn't rule Kaito Toba out just yet. Sure, he is half a second behind, but look, that gap is closing now, and he's bringing Arbolino with him, and we've already seen how hungry Arbolino is to finish in that top 3.
Yeah, in fact, these front 3, it's a bit of a nightmare, these guys catching them again, because they probably thought we got the podium secured, we'll have a nice little battle for it. But as you say, whenever Toba's behind someone, you hear the Jaws music, you know he's got the anchors on, he's got the tractor beams on to Lopez, and he will be trying to hunt him down. And I think when they come down that back straight, he'll use the slipstream to try and close it up. Let's have a look through the all-important turns 12 and 13 as they're lining it up onto the back straight before they head through turn 14 and 15, which is so crucial, as they say. It's so important to get the line right through these last 2 corners before you hit the back straight, because it's how you carry speed. You don't want to run out too far to the left. Ramirez keeps it nice and tight. Flick it over to the right, and then it's just gas, gas, gas. Get your head tucked in, butt in the air, and try and make most of the slipstream. Here is another back marker. Looks like they're going to pass him. Probably wants to get out of the way.
Ramirez actually trying to use the back marker as a bit more of a slipstream.
Yeah.
Not sure if it worked out excellently, but Della Porta has yet to be able to pass him. Just as I say that, it does look like Della Porta will make a move up the inside into turn 16. Della Porta with the title line, but Ramirez carrying so much corner speed. It looks like he's ahead of him. Oh, huge moment there from Della Porta. Can't be doing that one on the last lap. And Arbolino says thank you very much. Lopez got upset as well, as you say, and it's now all of these leading 6 riders are now back together once again.
Here comes Lopez up the inside of Arbolino into turn 1. He can't make that stick, but Toba has moved up into 4th, and we have ridiculously Della Porta and Fernandez at the back of this group now. So
Ramirez
Ramirez
opened up
leads.
a half-second gap as well. That's absolutely exactly what Ramirez wanted.
Yeah.
Arbolino and Lopez are going to have to work really hard to close down that gap. We saw that Toba did it then, but he was helped a bit by that moment from Della Porta. Can Ramirez push hard in these last 2 laps and keep that advantage, or will he be caught by the likes of Lopez, Arbolino, Della Porta, Toba, and perhaps even Fernandez?
Here comes Della Porta up the inside of Della Polino, and I think we can say goodbye to Ramirez. That's your race win, because these guys are going to trip each other up. Lopez doing his best to try and get back in touch with him, but look at this. A 4-way battle for the final podium spot. If Lopez in second looks like he's opening up a couple of bike legs, I think these guys aren't going to stop scrapping. One for Toba, one for Arbolino on their last lap. As you said, very aggressive riders. They won't mess about, and of course Della Porta with all his experience now. Also a man to be reckoned with when it comes to that podium. But Ramirez, well, over a second in the lead. He's pulled the pin.
Yeah, he's set the fastest first sector of the race so far. Luckily, these Moto3 bikes tyre wear, not such a huge issue with them. And it looks like Lopez has also opened up just a tiny, tiny advantage. We'll have to see how that plays out down the straight. But this battle for third is still red hot, with Della Porta currently holding the final step of the podium ahead of his countryman Arbolino. But Kaito Toba is right there, and Raul Fernandez, he could also all make it happen.
Raul Fernandez I'm impressed with. He's sat at the back of this group. He's not trying to push too hard, but he's not done anything stupid all race, and he's still there in contention for a podium spot if he can make it. But Ramirez, look at that gap, 1.2 seconds coming into the final quarter for the last time. Well, Lopez is thinking, damn, I should have made the move last time round when I had the chance. I shouldn't have broken that slipstream because of the being unceremoniously ran wide at the final corner. Lopez now finds himself, well, in a comfy second, but way off the pace of Ramirez. Look at that. And we come across the line, start the final lap. It is Ramirez, a 1.4 second lead then from Lopez, Della Porta and Toba. Look at them trying to avoid giving each other a slipstream. Lopez leads into the first corner, but I don't think this will be the order in which these 5 will cross the line in as we finish this race.
Now, Fernandez also starting to make moves, comes up from 6th for one of the first times this race, now ahead of Arbolino. Meanwhile, it is your man at the front in the turquoise blue, number 42, Marcos Ramirez, who just set the fastest lap of the race at 2:00.055 to really extend his lead at the front. Can he hold on to it? It seems almost certain.
Without a slipstream, he was almost a second quicker than every rider on the track. The next quickest rider was Lopez with a 2:00.990. So just goes to show you what a brilliant last lap that was from Ramirez, and it looks like he's got the win. But Lopez coming under pressure from Della Porta now. Now Lopez looked like he secured his first podium. Let's just remind ourselves, Lopez's best position, best finish before this was, it wasn't great, was it? It was a 9th in Valencia, race 1 for Lopez, 10th in race 2, and a 13th in Le Mans. So brilliant stuff. It'll be his first podium in the CEV this year.
Yeah, Lopez currently in 12th place in the championship standings, so a podium would help him nicely.
Ever podium, it's his debut season as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but it'll help the man at the front even more nicer. Marcos Ramirez looks on track for his second win of the season, but this battle for second and for third is still all on who will it be. There's very few corners left. They come down into turn 14. It's then turn 15, the left-hander. Then another 2 left-handers. It's all in the left-hand bends as they come through turn 15 onto that straight. Who can use the slipstream the best? Then it's all about turn 16 and turn 17. 2 corners often taken as one. It is currently Lopez who does hold on to second place. Della Porta has Toba right behind him. Toba has shown that he has a very level head in these tricky conditions. Della Porta looks for a way through. Can he do it? Lopez has the nice tight line.
Lopez, if he can hold on to this, should lead across the line, but it looks like Della Porta's trying the cutback. He's trying to take a tighter line, and here comes Toba as well. It is Ramirez who takes his race victory, and across the line it is Lopez from Della Porta with Toba. Wow! All 3 riders separated by just 500ths of a second.
And the action continues further down as Dennis Foggia manages to clinch 7th position ahead of Pasecci in 8th, with Sasaki in 9th ahead of his teammate Masaki in 10th place, with Aaron Polanco shuffled way down the order into 11th, ahead of Jeremy Alcoba and Messier. Again, another 2 riders who were at the lead of that second group, but then just got pushed all the way down.
Brilliant recovery from Makirychenko from 21st to 14th. The young Kazakhstani rider Albert Malis down to 15th. Disappointed for him. Jared Ryu at 16th to ready to take the last championship point. Nakarin Atarat Furupat 17th. Yori Montella 18th. Andy Istahar in 19th. Davide Pizzoli in 20th. Maximilian Kapla in 21st. Walid Sope 22nd. Enzo Bulo 23rd. Pagliani 24th. Perez 25th, and Tim Georgie done it 26th. Ruiz just crossing the line. Joe Ruiz, sorry, 26th should say. Ruiz Skinner 27th. Ruiz Skinner 28th. Filipino Felina, apologies, 29th. Gadini 30th. Altasulis will cross in 31st with Hugh in 32nd. But it's all about that man, Marcos Ramirez. Ran the first race in Valencia. Was second in race 2, came 4th at Le Mans, but returns to the top step of the podium to extend his championship lead. And with Della Porta crossing the line in 3rd, his lead was 6 points. It should be now 15 if my maths is up to scratch. But great result for Lopez as well. Alonso Lopez scoring his first podium in Junior Moto3. The Moto3 Junior World Championships, to say, the 14-year-old, a brilliant race from him. Best result before this for Alonso Lopez had been 9th, as I mentioned. So to whack it on the podium is just superb stuff from the young Spaniard. So then Harry is making his way on the little scooter down to Parc Ferme. He will be chatting to Marcos Ramirez, who's taken his 2nd win of the season, and as I say, has opened up a lead at the front of this Moto3 Junior World Championship to 15 points. But what a race. How much drama was that? If you counted the overtakes, you'd need about 20 hands if you were going to do them like that, because I can't count above 10. So there was that many. But drama in all forms. Time for us to catch a breath as they make their way around, saying thanks to the fans. We mentioned it's completely free to come and watch any of the C events. And open paddocks, people just come down and watch. And it's great for the riders. Even these young 14, 15-year-olds have real big fans and followers already now at this stage in this tournament, because it is broadcast all around the world. Lorenzo Della Porta, as you mentioned, the man 2nd in the championship. Well, it's another podium for Della Porta. That makes his 3rd of the season, having finished 3rd at Valencia race 2, winning the Le Mans race. Good consistency. He'll be happy here, the young Italian. So the bikes are making their way to Parc Ferme. First up, it is Lorenzo Della Porta. Gets an applause from his team. I think, you know, he'll be happy with the 3rd and sitting on the podium, but considering he was leading that race at times, I think he probably thought he had the pace. The poleman, Della Porta, was, of course, to go on and win. Here comes number 21, Lopez. Look how happy he is. Look how happy he is. His first podium, he's 14 years of age. Alonso Lopez, let's say, the Spanish Pre-Moto3 champion last year with the same team. So brilliant to see him being rewarded with a step up, a ride in the Moto3 Junior World Championship. He sticks on the podium in just his 3rd race. So there's confirmation. Marcos Ramirez winning by 1.1 seconds in the end. Alonso Lopez, Lorenzo Della Porta completing the podium, and Kaito Tobin just missing out, all separated by about 1/10 of a second. Raul Fernandez, another 10th further back in 5th. Tony Arbolino in 6th. Dennis Foggia, brilliant fight back from him through the field into 7th. The young Italians, I say, one to watch. Marco Pesecci, another Italian 8th. Yumu Sasaki, the 2nd of the Asian Talent Team riders, in 9th. 3 Japanese riders, 3 Asian Italian riders in the top 10 as Kazuki Masaki completes it. Aaron Polenko in 11th, and Jeremy Alcaba, Jaume Masia, Makochenko, as I mentioned, the Kazakhstani with a brilliant battle through the field for 21st. Albert Arenas taking the last championship point. Jared Reed, Nakarin, Akirat, Pumafat, Andy Izdahar, Andy Farad is known some as well in 19th, Davide Pizzoli in 20th. One in top 8, Enze Boulon, Manuel Paglioni, good race for him. Tim Georgie and Alex Ruiz in 27th. Rory Skinner, slightly disappointing for him, but kept it upright. Down to 28th, 41 seconds off the leader. Filippo Fellini in 29th, Matteo Cadini 30th, LHU 32nd, Hector Garzo 33, LHU taking the production class victory, and I believe that'll see him on top of the standing still. Well, Stefano Manzi was the only man to crash out with Lucas Wenderborn. Bringing up the rear, and we saw 37 riders complete the race. It's time to cross down then to Harry in Parc Ferme with Lorenzo Della Porta.
Second win of the year. Tough start to the start of the race, but came good in the end, and you managed to open up a gap.
Yes, in the race I feel very good because the team worked very hard all the weekend, and the race was very hard because it was in a big group, and I pushed hard in the top of the group, and when I 2 laps to go or 3, I don't know, I push very hard and I do the fast lap and I can pull away and I win the last lap. It's very difficult because you can disconcentrate it very, but it's good. Thank you for the team for this work.
Perfecto. Y en español, una bonita carrera, pero un poco difícil empezar, pero en las últimas vueltas bonita y mucho rápido.
Bueno, sí, la carrera ha sido muy dura porque ha sido en un grupo muy grande de 6 pilotos y bueno, he estado intentando todo el tiempo estar delante del grupo, como en Valencia, hasta ir ahí. Y bueno, cuando faltaban 2 o 3 vueltas he tirado al máximo, me he puesto primero y sabía que en la última curva era el más rápido, podía hacer que no me adelantara nadie en la recta porque hacía mucho viento. Y he hecho la vuelta rápida, he hecho el mismo tiempo que en mi vuelta rápida del crono, que con este viento es muy buen tiempo. Y he podido meterle unos metros al grupo que me ha servido para ganar. Y bueno, la última vuelta ha sido un poco complicada porque sabiendo que le metía un segundo y medio, es fácil desconcentrarte y caer. Y bueno, y dar las gracias al equipo y a todos los patrocinadores y a todos los que desde casa me están viendo y me están animando incondicionalmente.
So there we go, there your race winner, Marcos Ramirez, second race winner of the season. Let's have a look back at the highlights. So his first one out, it was Alonso Lopez who would lead into turn 1 with a brilliant start, and Ramirez there in second, but there was a moment, as we say, straight away for Stefano Manzi. Look at this, whoa! That was a yoinks moment, and he just managed to get out of the way. I think you'll be seeing that on the internet. And then an incredible battle at the front between 6 riders. They pulled away almost immediately and started to establish their dominance. Some brilliant overtaking as all 6 riders, I believe apart from Fernandez, took their turns at the front. Kaito Toba, they're using the slipstream to go to the lead. Really thought we'd see Kaito Toba battling for the race win during this race, but as we saw, the top 3 in the end making a bit of a break towards, that's just how close it was. Parts coming across, and it took a while, but Ramirez would eventually get back to the front and start to break by putting the fastest lap of the race on the penultimate lap to open up a lead at the front. And the action, well, it just carried on, didn't it? That's what we love about the Moto3 Championship. It's dramatic to say the least, with 6 riders all in for a shout. But the front 3 were starting to break away here. It was Lopez, Dalla Porta and Ramirez. Lopez had a chance to take the lead with a couple of laps to go coming down the back straight. Decided to wait, and he might regret it after there was a big moment between himself and Dalla Porta that really slowed him up. Here is Dalla Porta coming through on Ramirez. Just watch here. There's this huge moment affecting and pushing Lopez wide, costing Lopez really a chance of the win. Ramirez at this point disappeared off into the distance, opened up over a second gap, and it was all about the battle for second. But there we go, Marcos Ramirez coming across the line to take the race victory. Brilliant result for him. Sees him continue and extend even his lead in the championship standings. Brilliant finishing all the way down throughout the rest of the grid, as it was an incredibly close race, with the top 16 riders separated by less than 10 seconds when they came across the line. But you can see how much that meant to Marcos Ramirez. Absolutely delighted. And now it's time to take a step on the podium, and the leading production rider, Aleix Vieux, is up there as well. He's currently leading the championship, so we'll extend his lead too. Up next, don't go anywhere, we've got Superbike race 2, by the way, if you're wondering, plus second Moto2 race. And they'll all be about as dramatic as that, I can imagine. There is the team manager for Marcos Ramirez taking the trophy, the Leopard Junior Stratos team on the KTM. And so Ramirez, 18-year-old from Spain, is from Canil, was the 2013 Moto3 runner-up. Can he take the title this year? Having made the step up to stock 600 last year and coming back to Moto3 this year. I've been impressed by man, but there was riders who impressed throughout the field. We talked about Jeremy Alcabar, Javan Masir and Maka Achenko, all riding from way down on the grid to be involved in that battle for 7th. Dennis Foggia, we talked about him in 7th place. Nico Balega's replacement. Balega makes the World Championship. Another Sky Academy VR46 rider. But there is Lorenzo Dalla Porta, the man second in the championship, receiving his trophy for 3rd. First ever podium for Alonso Lopez. And look how much it means to him as well. You can tell how happy he is. As I mentioned, Spanish Pre-Moto3 champion last year with this team. It just goes to show how well this progressive, this Junior Estrella Galicia 00 setup team have. They bring them through from Pre-Moto3 into the Moto3 Junior World Championship, obviously up into the Moto3 World Championship. Riders like Jorge Navarro, they're challenging for the title. But Marcos Ramirez, second win of the season. And he extends his lead in the championship 15 points. With the championship run down very shortly, but first up it's time for the giant, gratuitous fuel check from Repsol. Definitely it's not as big as it used to be, Harry, which disappoints me a little bit. If you're going to have a novelty check, make it massive. Just give it a Happy Gilmore, he gets on the back of his car. So there we are, Ramirez, second win of the season, second time he's collected that. It's time for Spanish national anthem. Marcos Ramirez, congrats on his second victory in the Moto3 Junior World Championship so far this season. Out of 4 races, it's not exactly bad. Extends the championship. Let's have a little look at the standings shortly. 215 points over Lorenzo Dalla Porta, I believe. And it's good to see a couple of the guys on the podium there. You see with the Frickson and Carver, the other two, sparkling water because, well, they're much too young to be allowed alcohol.
That is sort of the disadvantage of this Moto3 Championship, is that sometimes riders do have to set off a fizzy water. There on left, you see Christian Lomberg, the team technical lead for that Leopard Racing squad, also working in the World Championship.
So let's have a look what that means for the standings. As I mentioned, then it is 15-point advantage for Ramirez. It's a huge gap in this championship, with Toba holding on to third, just a further 4 points back. Jeremy Alcaba is fourth, 1 point ahead of Dennis Foggia. Great damage limits from Foggia, finishing seventh. Alonso Lopez up into sixth after that race. Raul Fernandez seventh, another good race for him. Zuki Masaki, the leading age talent team rider, and Maka Uchenko in ninth, the rider from Kazakhstan again. Impressing to go from 21st to 14th during that race.
Yeah, nice little advantage there for Ramirez in the championship lead, but still all to play for between those top 3. Then Ayumi Sasaki, he is 10th overall, ahead of Stefano Manzi, 1 point ahead of him. 3 points there, and then ahead of Alberto Arenas, last year's championship front runner, then ahead of Tony Arbolino, Marco Bezecchi in 14th, ahead of Alish Rios, Nakan Adarak, who had just behind him.
Aaron Polanco in 19th, Jaume Macia, what a disappointing start to the year it's been with him from injury, and made his comeback today, but not a huge impact from the young Spaniard. Davide Pizzole then in 21st with 3 points, and Filippo Fellini completing your standings in 22nd. So it's time to get ourselves ready for the Moto2 European Championship race. Will be at 3 o'clock, but up next it is the Superbike European Championship Race 2. Race 1 was an absolute thriller. Won't remember for the results for you just yet.